Welcome to the First 40, the Goon Squad Sports Radio Podcast. We're here on YouTube. We have a special guest. It's yours truly, Puma, along with Black Thor, Ice Water, and Peacho, one of our favorite people to talk sports with out of Philly, currently in Indianapolis. How you doing?
Hello, how you doing?
All right. So, Peacho, we're celebrating our 6th year. I don't know if you have a drink, but all of us are drinking. I have coffee with bourbon cream from Buffalo Trace. Black Thor got some tequila, and I don't know what Ice has out there, but he's sipping on something. I don't know what he has, but he's sipping on something. So if you want to sip on something during the show,
About the refrigerator. Hold on one second.
So while she's getting her drink.
Refrigerator's right there.
It's right there? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, so the first story, Mike Gundy. I was looking at this story, Black, and for Oklahoma State, one of his players kind of busted him out for wearing a OAN shirt, which is a radical right news network, and I called him out on Twitter, and they seemed to make amends in a video where they shook hands and gave each other dap. But I'm thinking, Black, this guy's not going to make it past the end of this week or next week, because this is going to seriously hurt recruiting. And there are players, past players and present players, who are not happy with some of the things that happen at OSU. Your thoughts on this?
That's interesting. I'm not sure. I think he might make it. All depends what he does in the next week or two, bro. And if you got some top-notch recruiters that decide to transfer and not go, then he's in trouble. But if they can quiet it down a little bit, he might make it. I just like the fact, man, these young men are standing up, bro. From university to university, they're starting to take a stand. If there's something that's bothering them, they're not afraid to speak up. And I love that part of it, man. So I'm thinking, here again, he might make it. I don't think he should. And I just say this, it's not about the T-shirt. Just can't be that stupid. You literally just can't be that stupid as a head coach in an organization to put that shirt on and take a picture and think at this current time, I think that's a smart thing to do. You want to wear that in your house? Go ahead. But to stand around and know that's going to be seen, you can't be that dumb. You just can't be. For that reason alone, they should get rid of him.
I mean, Peacho, I'm going to come to you next. I mean, he's been getting away with this for a number of years. I remember when Kaepernick first started doing this with the kneeling, he was making comments about it. And it just seemed like folks who had done this in the past 4 years feel that they can come out and say the same statements. But the climate has changed. What do you think about Mike Gundy?
I think it's what's in your heart. Now, like with me, I know when I wear T-shirts, I change my T-shirts every season. Y'all know how much I love sports. So when the Sixers done, I go to my Phillies. When the Phillies done, I change my T-shirt, I go to the Eagles. So I change my T-shirts and I read every T-shirt I put on. That's in my heart. Sports is in my heart. When he put that T-shirt on, that what was in his heart. He knew when he put that T-shirt on. He knew what it stood for. He knew what's going on in his country. So why would you wear that T-shirt and the percentage of your team is African-American students? So, I mean, you got to take with what come, and what people doing now is what's in their heart, and we are finding out how they really are. So us as African-Americans, we have to say stuff now because of what's going on in our country. We have to say stuff now because people are doing stuff now what's in their heart, and we can't accept it. We just can't accept it. He did what was in his heart. He wore that T-shirt for a reason.
Okay. All right, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, I mean, you think about it, I think he knew exactly what he was doing. I'm not saying he's trying to show anybody up, but he had no shame in what he was doing. He apologized because one of his players came out and mentioned what he did. The other part of it, too, is I think he's going to still be around. He's doing the right things, trying to say the right things to stay on point. What I do find ironic, though, is he's 2-13 versus Oklahoma.
Yeah.
He hasn't been fired yet. So, if you ain't fired him by now, that's like losing. Ask John Cooper if you can go 2-13 against Michigan. Yeah. No, and they'll fire you then I think he's still going to be around. Plus, too, they're looking at how would they move forward. They tried to get somebody down there for quite some time, and it's been difficult. So, no, I think he might be around for a little bit because he came back and apologized, and maybe they'll just keep an eye on him.
But I agree with Elliot. It's time for recruits to start really thinking about where they're going and what these coaches are doing. and what people are doing, we need to start thinking about that, because we've been so forgiven for everything that people are doing. And that's why stuff ain't been changing, because we so forgiven. At some point in time, we need to stop forgiving people and go different schools, start supporting our HBCUs. We need to start doing something. I mean, I know we're looking at the fact that these schools bring a lot of contracts to us and stuff like that, but at some point in time, we need to start going to different schools and just say, look, I'm not going there. I'm going somewhere else. He wore the t-shirt.
Good point. Good point. I'm gonna stay with you on this one, because when I saw this, the Ohio State having their players sign a COVID-19 waivers, what impact is this going to have on other college universities who are getting ready to start their football seasons up? I wanted to get your thoughts on it, because initially when I saw this, I'm like, this is not good.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it. I mean, people will say, well, why would you have them sign a waiver? At the end of the day, it's college, but it's a business. You know that. It's business. And the athletic department is covering themselves. Because the point is, if you say you're a football player and you want to play, but then you really don't know if you want to play because what's happening with COVID, then if somebody comes up and says, well, they never told me that I had an option, or I was nervous about this, then as a business, that's what you do. The Ohio State University has one of the top athletic directors in the country, in Gene Smith, and he cares about the athletes. He knows what's going on, but then at the same time, they're in a business. So you might see that become regular protocol for some other schools, but then again, maybe not. It's kind of like pastors. I'm gonna say this real quick. Certain pastors would like bring all their congregation back during this virus, and one of the so-called main figureheads in the ministry nationally was like, y'all be a fool if you want to. As soon as something happens to somebody, they're gonna sue you. So it's how you want to roll with it.
All right, Peacho, what do you think about this? Ohio State having its college athletes sign waivers.
You know, my thing with that is when I looked at your question, what if it goes past 14 days, the quarantine, and you have a scholarship? When you sign that waiver, is that waiver just going to be for 14 days in quarantine? What if you go past that 14 days and you not asymptomatic? What is that waiver going to say? Are you still going to have your scholarship since it's a business? Ice water.
I think you do. That's the whole point of it.
I'm just saying. What's going to happen?
Well, the waiver is about them, providing them protecting the school. I think they do keep their scholarship. They keep it because it's kind of like just not being paid for something or whatever. But I think they keep it. If they don't sign it, then they may not have a scholarship.
Because see, what I read was that the waiver is you can't come to school sick, and if you're around anybody that have COVID-19, you need to let them know, and you have to stay in quarantine for 14 days. So my question is again, what if you have to stay in quarantine longer than 14 days and you go past an asymptomatic stage?
I think your scholarship is still good because the season is not just 21 days. The season is longer than that. I'm throwing a perfect example. So the quarterback is Justin Fields. Justin Fields, let's say he had COVID-19.
Right.
And his 21 days goes up. And there might be, some people might say because of who he is, you think they're going to pull his scholarship?
I'm just saying, I don't know. Because, I mean, you said it's a business. If
it is.
They're not even paying some of people insurance for COVID-19.
I'm with you. But then again, unfortunately, with that ugly business, it's all about value too. If they got to start quarterback, he can do 21 days. He can do 60 days as long as he's back before the season. We're gonna keep this 100 on this one.
I honestly think they're not paying people insurance for COVID-19. So you think they really gonna pay a college student scholarship? They're not sure how they gonna come back with their lungs, how they breathing gonna come back, how they gonna be able to run up and down the field. Do you know how this? The longer you have COVID-19, the longer your lungs are affected.
I agree with that. I have asthma. I know exactly what you're talking about. But I'm also talking about the point of when it comes back to the money, and that's what their main focus is. And it depends on who the player is, the value.
I think as a parent, that waiver, I would want it longer than 14 days.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that. But I think that's part of what you just said. It comes back to the original point of more parents should be informed, should be better informed. Especially our families, we're not informed. Right. We literally turn our kids over to these high-priced coaches and high-profile coaches because, you know, everybody tells them how great they are. At some point, along with going to HBCUs or making a solid decision, the guardians or whoever's in charge of these young men or women have to start realizing what their rights are, what they can do, and understanding law, and moving forward to make a quality decision in their lives.
True.
Let me bring Brother Raccoon in because I know you got some words to say about this topic.
You know, here's what I find interesting. You could say the parents, but most of these kids are 18 or above. They're young adults. And you could flip it upside down like spaghetti. Ohio State University is taking advantage of vulnerable young men that want to play for them. Period. It's just my opinion. If you really care about them as students and athletes, you would not have them sign a waiver. That school makes enough money to care for them medically and take care of them. I know it's a business, but at some point you got to give something back. They're not making a dime to wear that damn uniform. But they know these kids grew up as little boys wanting to play for Ohio State, and they're taking advantage of it. Point blank. I don't have to spend a lot of time talking about this. It's just because Ohio State, it got their big attention. And of course, other schools are sitting back and waiting to see if they can get it done. They're going to try the same thing. But keep in mind, these are amateurs. Amateurs. You can't pull that stuff on the NBA players. They're going to pull with amateur because they can get away with it. These kids need to sit out, don't play. That quarterback, don't play. See how fast that waiver go out the window. See how fast. You can talk about a quarterback. How about the second string player? You think they care about him? They're going to give him a day and they're going to pull a scholarship, bro. Let's be real. And guess what he looks like? Us. He looks like us. So if we're not willing to stand up and take care of our kids that's not our kids, what are we going to do? Seriously. And sometimes we got to forget it's about a sport and forget these guys are human beings, bro. They're human beings. We want to throw them out the pasture, go play. No, we should be in an uproar to say that's wrong. Because it's Ohio State. Oh, it's Ohio State. I'm sorry, man. Miss me on this. They should not play. Damn a waiver. That's your brother Raccoon's point.
I agree. I think it's about the scholarship. I just do.
Okay. That's going to be a hot topic. I want to see how many other universities kind of follow suit with this. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. Let's go to the NBA. The NBA players are divided, and there are all kind of thoughts about Black Lives Matter, the COVID situation. There's a players coalition that is coming up with a list of demands on how the NBA can support Black causes. Let me go to Ice first on this. What are your thoughts about this? Because you have one group, it seems like a number of players almost, I think I've read somewhere about 100 players who are like, no, I don't want to be involved with this. And it may be interrupting the Black Lives Matter movement. Now they're kind of changing, they're giving a booklet on what's going to happen there, all the fun things that can happen, ping pong and all this other stuff. What's happening, man?
All I know is this, as a player, they've already laid it down. You got a right to do what you want to do. Now, you want to get your game checked, it does not affect your contract. You don't have to play. That's on the players. And it's just simply, as far as I can see that's on the players. Now, other players are playing because they say they need their money, whatever it may be. And then, at first I thought about, well, maybe, why is it always about first it was about the disease and something. Now it's about Black Lives Matter. But you know what? That's not my cross to bear. That's not my fight to get into because they make decisions. But at the end of the day, they just need to make a decision whether or not they want to play. They don't have to, they don't want to, but if they do, they do. But the NBA is going to, from my understanding, is going to move forward. Right or wrong, that's what they're going to do. But you have a choice as a player with a contract whether or not you want to play. That's up to the player. You don't have to.
All right, Black, what's your thoughts, man?
You know, when they first started talking about this bubble stuff, I was like, what the hell is going on? But you put something out there, and I was looking at the demands, 100 list. You got 100 things you got to abide by to play basketball inside of a bubble. Let's think about this for a second. A bubble that you don't know what air is going to be inside that bubble. They need to cancel the season, bro. ESPN and the NBA is trying to make up money they lost throughout this past season. This season can't be legitimate. There's no way in the world you're going to have a quantified championship at the end of, I don't care if they play until January. It's done. This season got blown up. Adam Silver is basically blown up because he's mad because China's taking over 300 million. So you're going to stick a bunch of people in a bubble to play a basketball game. If it's that much, if you got that much concern, don't play. Let them play in a normal arena, a bubble. And guess who owns the bubble? ABC. Who owns ESPN? ABC. Who stands to make the most money? ABC. Come on. Let's get real. I know people are ready to watch basketball or ready to watch any sport. They treating these guys like guinea pigs, in my opinion, realistically, just to make the money, bro. So I don't see it any other way. When I saw that long list, you got to leave, go back to your hotel room. What are you, in prison? We're just going for the next several months. You're going to play basketball. These guys have lives, bro. They have families. They care nothing about. We got to get basketball on television that bad?
Peacho, I know you've been, you're a Philadelphia 76er fan. I heard today that they might be favored when they come back because they're the wild card team. But I've been hearing a lot of talking heads on ESPN and also Charles Barkley. I call Sellout Smith on ESPN and Perkins, who was talking about, hey, Kyrie is making a mistake. He should shut up. But these guys work for the NBA. So if the NBA is gone, they have no job. So what are your thoughts?
You know what, with Kyrie, I think Kyrie is really on what's going on now with the Black Lives Matter movement, excuse me. And I think he's really not looking at the fact that the guys still want to work. Because I heard Damon Leonard talk, and he was trying to go with both sides. He was trying to say, I understand you got people that want to deal with the Black Lives Movement and what's going on today, but you got people that want to get paid and provide for their families, and you got people that still want to provide for their community, because you got guys that still do things in their community. And so, like Ice was saying, you got people that it's their choice. You know what I'm saying? Because they are under a contract. But you also still got to think about COVID-19. So these are grown men, and they do make their choice. So with us being fans of the sport, we can't tell them what to do because they grown men. But my concern is COVID-19, because Florida is getting hit again. And Florida is getting hit hard. So like he said, these guys got families. And the black race has got hit hard than any race with this COVID-19. And you're going to put guys in a hotel, in a room after they practice for 36 hours. From what I read, they're going to be in a room for 36 hours after they practice. Who's going to sit in the room with them for 36 hours? How clean is that room going to be for 36 hours? How clean is the bathroom going to be? How clean is the sheets going to be? Who's going to spray that room? It's a lot of things that can happen in 36 hours, that the stress of just playing like that and getting hurt could have an injury that could end your career. So when NBA do come back, your career can be over. It's just too much. I think it's too much to be in a bubble right now to play like that. It's just too much. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think right now we got too much going on in society for them to play. It's just too much. When I read it today, you got 13 players that's going, maybe 17 that go. You're going to have one coach, one assistant, one guy that's going to be going with you to take care of somebody get hurt. Just one guy. 22 people can go per team. That's what I read today.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's a chance to take for what? COVID-19 is death. It's not no turning around and coming back. It's death that you could take home to your family. That's death. That's not no injury, going home, having surgery, getting healed, and going to a therapist. No.
I called it Sunday night, Black and Ice on the When Black Men Talk. It's like the Tuskegee experiment all over again. Yep. And I kind of saw it. And maybe some of the waivers were in there that the college players were forced to sign, that the NBA looked at it, the players were like, I'm not signing a waiver. You are right, Peacho, about the jeopardizing free agency, jeopardizing getting hurt.
Yep.
In this season. Ice, any other words? I'm gonna give you the last word on this in the NBA, man.
I mean, no, it's just what it is. I mean, granted, they're gonna, regardless, other businesses do the same things. It's gonna be just messed up. People have issues and people are dying. But at the same time, it is their choice. You do not have to play. Nobody's making them play. Nobody's taking the contract. They will not be compensated for the games that they missed if they choose not to play. But you do not have to play. And I agree with the point that they are adults.
Yeah.
Make a call, make a choice. I do find it ironic that all of a sudden now it's about Black Lives Matter, right? Come on, man. Anyway, but that's
See,
just
basketball is, but basketball is different because they sweat and the majority of their body is exposed. Like football, they can cover themselves with long sleeves, they pants, they feet, they can cover, their whole body is covered. But basketball, you sweating and you spitting and you running up and down the court, and somebody get mad and spit on you, that's a fight. We done saw a lot of fights in the NBA where they spit on each other. So just think about it. You're in the heat of the moment, you left your family and you stressing, and you run up and down the basketball court and somebody elbow you.
Well, one thing we do know, if 85 or 90% of the players say they're not playing, they can't have a season. That's another point we're talking about. If they don't play, they cannot have a season.
As long as LeBron's out there, they're playing, bro. As long as LeBron shows up, they're playing.
Curry can come back. All right.
If he shows up, the NBA is going to play. That's what it's all about. Let's not kid ourselves. ESPN is always licking LeBron up and down. He's the main one wants to play. You got guys in his own team saying, I'm not going. When has LeBron even showed any resource? Like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't. No, let's play. We can do that and have a platform. You have no platform. You're playing basketball game. You got to be kidding me. The NBA, and I know we say Black Lives Matter in the NBA. Let's be honest. The NBA hasn't done nothing in social justice in a long time. So when Kyrie says that, I see where he's coming from. If you don't do it now, when you going to do it? 20 years from now? Seriously. You're going to take a stand. And I'm not saying she'd be thrown to the mix of this, but damn it, the majority of these are Black. So
I only seen five five NBA players march so far. I have only seen 5 that march so far.
So if you're not going to take a stand now as a player, when are you going to take it?
Yeah, and that coalition with Avery Bradley, when I was reading it, it was detailed on this is what we need for you.
Good points.
And they were really good points.
Yes.
Really good points that you would think that the NBA is already doing it, but they're like, no, this is what we need you to do in order to be committed to these causes.
And why is LeBron, the rest of these knuckleheads, the star players, why are they not standing behind them?
Yeah, it's a good question. And we'll see, because it seems like it's divided. And you have a lot of folks. I heard Matt Barnes going after Kyrie Irving and a bunch of folks going after Kyrie Irving. But I have to say, I always kind of looked at Kyrie as, troublemaker, a guy that's kind of spoiled, stuff like that. But he's making some great points in this. And a lot of people saying that he's doing this because, he's hurt and he can't play, or he was told he couldn't play. But I think the iron is hot right now. And so if you want to get something, you need to do it right now. Ice, I'm going to go with you on this one. Major League Baseball. I thought yesterday wasn't going to be a season. Now, all of a sudden, maybe, put another proposal out and the players are looking at it. You don't look enthusiastic at all.
You see me smiling.
They should not have a season. Huh? Their mind. They should not have a season.
They should have a season.
Don't take my smile away.
I'm saying, you know what? They should have a season. It's because it's back and forth. I mean, one was about the money. Before they didn't want to give up the money, but everybody's losing money. So now it's back and forth. That's the way that the media is playing this up. They're doing it with all of these sports. They kind of get your highs up. If you're a fan, say, oh man, we're gonna play. Then again, it's like, well, we're not gonna play. Back and forth until they get to the deadline. So if they don't want to play, it's at that point that it's just like the average person, particularly for myself, I'm like, whatever. Because baseball truly knows they cannot afford to. You play too many games as it is. And then now you want to kind of get somewhere like you got a choice. Got people mad because they're making $35 million a year. Now it's going to be cut down to $6 million. And you got an attitude?
Hey, I'm private one.
Everything is going to hell right now. Everything is taking a hell. But you want your $35 million. You want your 35. You want your money. Okay.
I'm proud of the baseball player. You can't talk like that.
No, look, here's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, but I'm just saying, your baseball player will know. You might take a little L. He gonna still be ready to do what he got to do. But it's all about the money. Then you're gonna be at home and you're gonna be you and your whole family on Cobra. Cobra calls. I mean, you got that forever. Your family on 4 on Cobra. Look it up. I'm trying to tell you. Hey,
all right. Go ahead. Because
All I'm saying is they want it all. They want it all. I mean, everybody taking a hit. I ain't getting my $35 million. Ain't nobody getting their money like that. If you want to play, then that's what you got to work with. That's why they trying to work it out. But I'm so tired of the bickering back and forth with them. Well, if they tell us, if they want us to play, they'll tell us when we going to play. What the hell is that? If you don't want to play, if you don't want to play,
Sign a waiver.
Look, whatever. Hey, but then again, it shows you now all of a sudden everybody care about the people in charge and what they think. Give me a damn break. Don't get me started on the NFL players. Do not do that. Don't do that. Now all of a sudden,
one of you might come up with the question later. One of you might come up with the question.
Please.
Now you care all of a sudden.
Man.
Come on, man.
Two
Let me go with
questions.
the Phillies
You
fan
got
real
mad
quick.
at my little baseball players.
Let me go with the Phillies fan.
I'm not mad.
Because
It's just
It seems
ridiculous.
like the players were resigned to the fact, Peacho, that it wasn't going to be a season. Then you start seeing all these tweets. Just let us know where to play, and we'll be there to play. Then this proposal comes up.
Man.
I saw that today, and I'm like, I don't care if they come back and play anymore. I mean, I'm just interested now. But what are your
So
thoughts?
they went from 80 games. They made me happy. Then they went to 50. So I started looking at the schedule. That made me happy. I had myself going to St. Louis in September. And then the other day they said no season. So I'm like, oh, wait a minute. They done pissed me.
Hey, Peacho, can I say this
So
to
I'm
you?
like, wait a minute. Can I get some baseball or what?
Peacho,
So look,
you know I
I'm just taking
love
my
you.
grandson to the field because I'm going to get me some baseball.
Hey, I love you, Peacho. You know that, right? You might as well get ready for April and have him keep hitting that damn ball. Next April.
I'm taking my grandson to the field. I'm going to get me some baseball. I don't care.
Yeah, you're going to get better. And that might be your only baseball. Otherwise, you get ready for next
I'm
April.
like, I can't even get 50 games. Come on, y'all. Give me 50. Give me some baseball.
I
Something.
was talking about 60 games, full salary. Black, help me out. You're not a baseball guy, but
No. I need something to take a nap
They
to.
said 50 games the other day. So I don't know. I'm like, y'all just killing me over here. So I don't know.
I need something to take a nap to, so maybe they should play. So I'll say this. I don't understand this in a sense where they're trying to just play around with the money, and I understand the nature of the sport that they should stand up and just play. I think baseball just out of whack, bro. Their whole format, and to me, I never want to kind of root for the owners, but you have to understand where the economy in the world is right now. You can't be trying to make 35 million play 50 games. It just makes no sense. But it's just my opinion. Baseball players are the smallest athletes that walk around on the face of this earth. They get a broken fingernail, they sit up for 3 weeks, bro. So you see what's going on with them. They always want to be paid. They're pampered. And I'm not mad at them. They make their money. But you see it. You see it right now for the first hand. And they don't have a season. Guess what? The fans may not be there next year. They may not be there. So they need to do something. I don't give a damn if they play 10 games.
It's hard to fill a baseball stadium. It's really hard. It's really hard.
Ice, you put up an article on the Goon Squad page about if the season is canceled. The attendance has been down going through the years when I was reading the article, and that if they cancel the season, what it would do to baseball. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just more or less where they're at. You got to look where they're at on the totem pole. I mean, people that love baseball. Peacho. Anyway.
I love baseball.
Love baseball, right, and that's fine. And some people are just going to go regardless, but you have to look at the set where they're sitting right now in regards to sports. You know, you think about NFL football, you think about NBA basketball, but people do like baseball. But I think this is key right now because at some point, everybody is cutting their seasons for the most part that they're going to play, except for maybe football, because they have the luxury of starting later in the year. But if your season is supposed to start late March, basically, there's no way in hell you're going to play a bunch of games. So the smart thing would be like, look, we want to play. I want to make a little money. And so we're going to adjust accordingly. But you keep going along. You keep looking around. It is June 17th. We are damn near 2 weeks away from 4th of July. And it's going to get colder, as Black Thor likes to say. And who's going to be watching? It's going to be cold. I know about baseball. When it gets cooler and football starts, you might say that about basketball, but that's for damn sure people not going to be watching it. It's supposed to be World Series time, September, October, and playoff time. And then you talking about, well, we got 22 more games in September 29th. Are you kidding me? When are y'all going to watch that? People are mad anyway. And then too, with all of the drama surrounding the Houston Astros, it's a lot. They need to wake up and they need to do something to improve the image of baseball. And that starts with the healing process of providing fans with something to watch and not get lost amongst the cluster of everything that's going to be coming together in sports.
And I think another thing too with baseball, they won't be able to afford to go up on the ticket prices because they will have to make up for not having a season this year, because baseball is a family sport. Right. Most stadiums are family oriented. It's stuff for the kids to do, and it's stuff for the whole family to do. So when I go to baseball games, you can see families of 5, 4 people there with kids, and people won't be able to afford that. If they go up, like right now, I don't already priced tickets for the NFL game, and they have already went up $60, $70 per ticket this year. For the same game, I paid probably $120 for last year. But the Major League Baseball would not be able to afford to do that. And I think that's why they really want to give people a baseball season to keep those ticket prices down, because if they don't have a baseball season, they will have to increase those prices of tickets next year to pay those guys. And people won't go next year. They will not pay extra $20 or $30 for those tickets because you can't take a family of 4. You won't be able to afford it the way the economy is right now. And I think that's why they really want that season.
I'm not sure it's going to happen. Well, I'm going to save the Yankee story because that's another scandal waiting to happen.
Why?
Ice has been jumping at the bits to get my Yankees. And I'll say this: if they get caught up in the scandal, they deserve the same punishment as I said weeks ago. Wipe away the 2017 season. That's it. But let's go to the NFL because that seems to be the hot topic. I'm going to go with you, Peacho, real quick on the NFL. Mm-hmm. The commissioner is pushing teams to sign Colin Kaepernick. Your thought?
That's not exact. I listen to that interview 3 times a day. In the interview, he's not pushing them. He said, if somebody want to pick him up, that's up to them.
So he's not encouraging.
He didn't say, I want somebody to hire Colin. I mean, I listened to it 3 times a day.
Okay.
And he didn't say, I want somebody to hire Colin. That I agree with Spike Lee. That's what I want to hear. If you made that mistake and made an issue with him kneeling as the commissioner of the NFL, why you can't have a meeting with the owners and Jay-Z and say, well, one of y'all let him work out for y'all. You tell me he don't have that much clout with those owners?
I don't know if he does because he works for them.
But still, he can have a meeting just to have a meeting. Even if he don't have that clout, he can have a meeting. You understand what I'm saying? Instead of doing it on TV, just have a meeting so we can say, he had a meeting. He is really, really sorry. Just have the meeting. But you just standing on TV. In his interview, he never said substantial racism changes. He said substantial changes. And I looked up that word substantial. It can mean higher level, and it means higher level as far as expanding. He never said the word racism. If you go back and look at that interview, he never said exactly what Black Lives Matter, what they trying to do. And he never said anything about racism, what we've been going through and what George Floyd's death was about and how we feel about his death. And what exactly Colin kneeled for. He didn't kneel about his job. That's not what he kneeled for. He didn't think he was going to lose his job. That's not what he kneeled for. In his interview, he never recognized what he kneeled for.
Right.
So that's my thing. Recognize what he kneeled for. If you're going to get on TV, recognize what he kneeled for. And that's my point. He did not recognize that.
Okay.
But if you want him to get his job back, just meet with him. Even if it might not do anything. Meet with Jerry Jones, because he ain't said a word. He's silent.
Whoa!
He's silent.
All right.
He hasn't said one word.
Yeah. and let me put my 2 cents before I go to Black on this.
We got to come to the show more often. That's what I'm gonna say right now. She got to come to the show more often.
I've been saying this since Roger Goodell kind of made his first statement, that I felt that him and the NFL, the Shield, have been trying to get in front of this movement because I think that they saw a potential where Colin Kaepernick, his original stance, was going to be highlighted. That was going to make them look really bad. So he got out ahead of it, and he started to kind of say some things to say, hey, we were wrong. We looked at this the wrong way, blah, blah, blah. First, he didn't mention Colin Kaepernick's name. Now he's talking about Colin Kaepernick a little bit. And now you have NFL players who are stepping up and saying, hey, I'm going to kneel. This is wrong. This is how we feel about it. They checked Drew Brees. But I always felt that the NFL is just trying to get in front of this in order to save their reputation and to save possible losses to their revenue. If folks kind of say, you know what, you're still doing Colin Kaepernick wrong after all this, then we're through with the NFL. But Black, you take it from here. What do you have to say about the commissioner kind of I won't say pushing Peacho, I'll say trying to encourage owners to look at Colin.
I don't want to see Colin Kaepernick play football anymore. I want to see the commissioner, if anything, sit down with, like he did with Jay-Z, sit down with Colin Kaepernick. That's all I want, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we should all be. I'm tired of players, give him a job. He should be begging for a job. The brother hasn't played quarterback in 4 years. He can't come back and perform on a high level. They took that away from him, but they can sit down with him and move forward. If you want to do that, that's fine. To me, this thing about, Colin Kaepernick players playing, and if you didn't, kneeling right now, to me, any player in the NFL that kneels now, they didn't kneel before, why are you doing it? Don't kneel now when white people think it's okay for you to do it. They understand you doing it. It means nothing now to kneel to me in the NFL. I hate to say it. If you didn't kneel before, why are you doing it now? Sit down with Colin Kaepernick, make some serious changes, do some serious things, talk to people. That's it. Like I said on the show Monday, you see the Boston and Mirror taking money from – Boston's been a racist town for years, bro. Taking money from the police force, moving into social justice. NFL need to do something similar. Do some things with Colin Kaepernick where I can see some substantial things happening. He ain't be on the football playing a football game. I don't know why people rally for to get him back out in the field. What is that going to accomplish? Oh, we beat them? Seriously, bro, we know they blackballed them. We all know that already. The NFL players fight for the wrong thing at the right time. It's just my opinion. That's what they do. Now they want to kneel. Oh, you big and bad. You're going to kneel now. Okay.
I know we're beating this like a drum, bro. You got the floor.
Man, look, I said it once and I said 100 times. If they really wanted, what is this about? Colin Kaepernick started with kneeling, on his own, and then it grew. Other people saw it, and then really people saw it. Younger people saw it, and for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, they saw a man live and they saw a man die. And Kaepernick brought attention to this long time ago. But getting back to the realization of this, when it comes down to football, they say they're going to kneel. Now you want Kaepernick to meet with him if he wants to play. Again, I don't think he should play. But again, if the NFL, the African-American players in the NFL want something to happen, it's simple, man. It is very simple. Strike, bro. Strike. Say, I'm not playing for 2 weeks. It will make a difference. We have not heard that from one player. And I was going to use this on my last second shot, but I guess it's early. The whole point comes down to the only person that's really kneeling and kneeling by themselves and really making a stance by himself, Colin Kaepernick. That's who it is. That's the only one. Nobody else. I told you, it's just like baseball when Kurt Flood did it. He is the sacrificial lamb. If you want to make a difference, take 2 weeks and say, we're not playing. I guarantee you, because the owner is going to be losing money. It's going to affect fantasy football. It's going to affect all the way that the games are played, and the fans are going to be pissed. That's all you have to do.
All right. Let's go to the next story. Black, Cowboys, Texan players are coming down with the virus. I predicted this. I talked to a buddy of mine who's an attorney, and he was saying to me Friday, he's like, watch the stories that come out that college players and NFL players are coming down with the coronavirus, especially in those states that are seeing a hike in the first wave. In the southern states like Florida, Texas, Arizona, and the states that have NFL football teams. Your thoughts on this, man?
I'm not buying it, bro. I'm not buying it. You got one name out there with the coronavirus, Zeke Elliott, and Texas player. What did Texas player's name on? This is to take the heat off Jerry Jones for not doing the damn thing, bro. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Charles Barkley came out saying he had corona. He never had corona. I'm not buying it, bro. This takes the attention away. You want sympathy for Zeke. No, Jerry Jones didn't open his damn mouth, bro. I'm not buying it. Texan players. What Texan players? Is it J.J. Watt? Is it the quarterback? What, they don't have names? Watch how stuff is reported, bro. Don't run with everything they give you because it's a little misleading. And so what if he got the Van Dam virus? He's a grown-ass man. He been going to parties, hanging out. Does that change anything? It's not going to stop the league from playing. But I just find it very interesting. They don't mention one Texans player. All of a sudden, Zeke got the coronavirus. Oh. I'm not buying it. PR. Just remember, PR is a mother. It runs this country, bro. You can't tell me the Cowboys have a serious PR firm saying this is what we're going to throw out there. They know the past couple, everybody been all over Jerry Jones. What's he going to do? What's he going to say? You can't. Where's that yacht? I don't see that yacht lately. The one he's sitting on for the draft. Where's the yacht? Somebody go give me a picture of that yacht. Put a camera and find Jerry in that yacht. What's going on? Back in the day, reporters would got in the water and swim out to that yacht to have him talk. Nobody does their job anymore, bro. Don't believe the hype.
All right, Peacho. Cowboys in Texas, some of them are reporting having the coronavirus. How is this going to impact the league? And I'm saying that the NFL is not going to have a season. It's just, to me, it's just like a cesspool to have football players out there, blood, sweat, and tears in those pads trying to hit each other and being in close. You can't socially distance in football.
I already bought my ticket. I bought my tickets for 2 games already. I know you should say that.
Too, so yeah.
I agree with him as far as the name thing, because when the NBA players had COVID-19, they named all of them. So why is the NFL not naming those players? And I think that's not fair to the NBA players. And I think the NBA players should say something. If it's NFL players that have it, they should name those players just like they did the guys in the NBA. And I just think that, because when I read today, they said that they didn't catch it while they was on the NFL facility. So how did they catch it? If you're going to go that far to say that they didn't catch it on the NFL facility, then how did they catch it? Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. It's like, if you don't tell the truth about this, how does that protect the other NFL players? And that's the thing. If that, in that case, then it's going to spread. Because you don't know if those NFL other players have been to their house, to a birthday party, to a family gathering, a baby shower, or anything like that. And I'm just hoping not, because I done spent a lot of money on my tickets. I got my tickets for when the Eagles go to Cleveland. I got my tickets already. So, and when they come here to the Colts preseason. So, I mean, I made sure I can get a refund. I'm hoping it's the NFL season. I'm hoping this ain't. I hope this is not the sport that's canceled. That's just me.
Because I didn't think they were going to even have fans until Black said that he bought his tickets to the Houston Texans game. So, yeah. Ice, what are your thoughts?
Play tomorrow if you let them.
Yeah. Ice, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, I mean, the NFL, because we know about the owners, they don't care. They'll put their great-grandkids out there if that's what they got to do to get that money. I'm just saying. But again, the players, the African-American players, they want that money. They need that money, so they'll be out there. Unless something crazy, even with the COVID virus. There was certain times back in the day, they were saying a few weeks ago that if, so many players test positive, then maybe the team should be eliminated or moved down or penalized. They're not doing that, though. They're not doing that. They're going to play. The NFL, they already told you, they done printed them tickets for Peacho. They're going to get their money. It might be XFL rejects. Somebody's going to be out there playing. When he hate me or I hate you or whatever the hell it is.
I'll be sitting there right by myself.
I know you will. And guess what? Guess what? They banking on that. Number 45, he hate me.
Look, section 122, row 12.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. So they already know. They playing. Somebody playing. Somebody going to play.
Fox gonna be out there throwing that baby.
Look, hey, somebody playing. And they not talking. They ain't gonna talk about we worry about the players either. Players be like, I gotta get this money because all of their money driven. So,
I think the NFL players probably be more protected than any other league. If they don't have the NFL, I think they just gonna be like, look, this is done. But Serena already said she going to the U.S. Open, so I don't know how this gonna work.
Tennis is, I think that's a sport you could play. You know, you got the other person on the other side of the court. I mean, there's, you have the locker rooms, you have all that space. You're one person playing, so I don't think there's a problem with like tennis, soccer. I don't even think there's a problem with baseball. Because the South Korean league is just they're still booming, they're still playing, and I haven't heard any incidents. So, but I think basketball, football is a little bit different. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's go to questions from the Goons. Black, what's your first question?
My first question is, I saw the other day where Perkins was saying that LeBron was the best athlete to ever play basketball, athletic. And then Bill Russell stepped up and kind of slammed them both. Why do so many people spend time trying to prop up LeBron? He's not Michael Jordan. That's just the question. Why is that?
All right, Peacho, I'm going to let you answer that first, then I'll go to Ice.
You know why I think that? I think because LeBron, where he came from, a lot of people know of his childhood. And I think with Michael Jordan, people look at him as having a mother and a father in the house, and he didn't come from poverty. And I think that's why they look at LeBron and say, you know what? He came from being in a bad situation, and he had to struggle to get where he at. And he accomplished so much just from where he came from. And I think that's why a lot of people say LeBron is the best player in the NBA. That's just my opinion.
Okay. Never really looked at it that way, but that's an interesting perspective. Ice?
Well, Kendrick Perkins was feeling good. That's why I love when old school comes around. He said, and old school that knows how to use social media, or he at least got somebody that can help him with it. Because the first thing he did was had a video of him grabbing a rebound on defensive end and going coast to coast and all
down the court.
Right. Then everybody knows that LeBron was a football player, played tight end or whatever, played wide receiver, and that was great. But then Bill Russell said, "Don't get it twisted now." He said back in the day, he was the number 7 rated high jumper in the world, the number 2 rated high jumper in America. And he said the only reason why I didn't play 2 sports because they didn't let you. So I chose basketball. So when old school come at you, not much you can say, especially when he bring a tape and he show you flying. Again, to me, truth be told, I wish he would have said something else. So I guess me being 6'9", taking the 7'2" center and giving him the damn business and winning 11 games don't clarify me as being one probably close to being the greatest player of all time. But I digress.
Maybe because some of the old school guys don't know how to use technology and Twitter and stuff. They don't feel the need to kind of clap back at some of them. I'm surprised that some of them don't do it because I think they get disrespected because a lot of those guys are very, very, very athletic. And just because the game is kind of played a little bit different now doesn't mean that they were less athletic or they didn't have the skills to compete with some of the guys today. So, when I saw that and saw about the high jump and him sprinting down the court coast to coast, I'm like, man. And then Perkins had to really kind of admit, like, yeah, I have to give it up. And so, yeah, LeBron, you had to step back. This is the GOAT right here. But I want more old school guys to do this, man. I really do. Black, what's your thoughts?
Perkins, you play for the Boston Celtics, bro. How do you not know that?
You really want to know how you didn't know that?
Please enlighten me.
You know what Perkins was doing? I'm not going to say. But it starts with PP pass.
In the realm in the same manner in that scenario, then he got a serious damn contact from Bill Russell.
It's just disrespectful, man, that they basically just totally disregard the past players that laid the foundation for these gentlemen to play basketball. They just totally disregard them. They don't look beyond Michael Jordan. They don't look way back. How could you be a lover of the game and not understand the game fully, understand the game that you're playing? I mean, Bill Russell's just one. How about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? There's so many that we can just throw out there that they just disregard.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
All right, Peacho.
But they got 3 referees too now.
3 referees.
Exactly.
Still can't call traveling.
Thank you.
They got 3 referees now.
Peacho, this is a portion of the show. If you got a question, throw it out to the group and we'll answer it.
Y'all know what my question is, because y'all know I don't like Dallas.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this point.
Yes. So why y'all think Jerry Jones is silent?
All right, Ice. Go to you, Dallas fan.
I don't know. I mean, you know, one, he don't have to say nothing. You call that arrogant or whatever, he don't have to say nothing. And it represents what some of the owners are, but particularly for him, he don't have to say anything. I mean, it comes down to that same thing. I'll just say this. I think that the players, again, they don't understand their damn power or they lost. How is it that when all of, again, when it comes down to all of them with them being upset and frustrated with what's going on, if you're mad at Jerry Jones, somebody rise up to the occasion and step up and say, I don't like this, or kneel, or don't kneel, or simply just say strike. But then again, that's one scenario. I'm telling you, the owners understand how they play these. They just need to keep them at arm's length, keep them happy for a minute. They forget like children when something happens to them. And then all they care about, truthfully, is getting ready for the season so you can come watch them play and they can cash your ticket money. That's all they really give a damn about. So why Jerry Jones not saying nothing? He don't feel like he has to, because he's protected by Roger Goodell. He's the puppet. He works for them. He's out in the front. He says all the right things. You think they're like, well, go on there and say what you want to say. Just don't include me in that BS. Include Jerry Jones in that madness.
Right.
On that perspective, I agree with you, because Michael Bennett went after Roger Goodell, but he did not go after Jerry Jones. So why do you think he did that?
I don't know. But Black?
You know.
I'm going to say this, and I didn't say this before. Jerry Jones keeps his mouth shut because Donald Trump is arming up his back like a puppet. He was only speaking before what Donald Trump told him to say, and he's lost now. Donald Trump has disconnected himself from him, and he's afraid to say something on his own because he don't want to offend Donald Trump in case he wins again. That's why Jerry Jones keeping his mouth shut. He wants to keep that friend in the White House, bro. It's just that simple. Because Jerry Jones will talk about anything, squirrel racing, no matter what it is. He finds a way to find a microphone or find a radio show. And now you're going to be quiet now? No. It's because as a puppet, he doesn't have that hand up his back saying, say this. Everything he said before about any guy, who do you think he told him to say that? Jerry Jones, even though he's not saying anything, Jerry Jones has been very good to his players, bro. He's brought players back that should never been in the league. So I can't take that away from him. Michael Irvin will probably be in jail right now was with Jerry Jones. So I'm not going to knock him for some things he has done. But to me, him being quiet, it's not his doing. He's basically watching what he says because he don't want to basically piss the knucklehead in the White House off.
I kind of look at it as Roger Goodell is a mouthpiece of the owners right now. And it's almost like they're saying, okay, just represent the Shield. Let's kind of smooth this over before the season starts so we don't have any incidents, any strikes or whatever. Say what you need to say. But it's their decision whether or not they're going to fall in line or support the kneeling or support Black causes and communities and things of that sort, or even support Colin Kaepernick coming into the league. So that's what I think. I think Roger Goodell right now is the spokesperson for the owners. And the owners are just kind of zipping up and letting this kind of ride until the season starts. But Peacho, why do you think he's so quiet?
I think because he cannot make that same threat that he made last year, that if they kneel, they will not play and they will not get paid. I think that's why he's keeping quiet, because he cannot be the person that he was last year. Wow. I think that's why he's keeping quiet. Because what percentage of that team is African American?
Damn near all of them.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Last year he could make that threat because he had all those people backing him up. But now he can't, because who's out there marching with Black Lives Matter?
Right.
It ain't just us.
Yep.
So he can't make that same threat. And you know it kills him because he can't threaten nobody now. He can't threaten those players. He can't treat them players like kids no more. He can't treat them millionaires like they don't mean anything no more. Now he has to keep his mouth shut. He has no control, and that's killing him. That's why I think he's silent.
Oh, wow. Wow, okay. Peacho bringing it. Okay, Ice, your question, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a little lighter than that, than still talking about
I hate Dallas.
Instead of talking about some $40 million slaves. Anyway, I digress on that one. But yeah, no doubt. Anyway, my question is, since everybody on here, even though they act like they don't watch sports or don't like sports, your favorite team that you had as a kid in whatever sport, how did you end up liking them? Was it your uncle, your pops? Where you from? What made you decide to say, hey, that's my squad and I'm choosing to run with them?
Okay, Peacho, you go first, because I know you talked about this on an earlier show.
Mm-hmm. I started liking sports, and y'all gonna laugh. I started liking the 76ers because of Bobby Jones. And that's crazy. That was the first, yes, that was the first poster in my room because my uncles, we had this big TV downstairs in the living room. That was the only TV we had in the house, and we all grew up in North Philly in the ghetto. And whoever got to that TV first on Sunday, that's what you had to watch. And I saw Bobby Jones go up for a rebound. That was the tallest white guy I have ever saw in my life. And he had those Air Force Nikes on. Them Air Force One Nikes on. And he went up for a rebound. And I was in awe at the age of 7 years old. And I was a 76ers fan ever since then, the age of 7. That was the first poster in my room. Bobby Jones was sitting on the throne with a 3-piece suit on, and he was the king of defense. Yep. So that's how I became a Sixers fan.
All right, Black.
It's about the Giants, man. How I became a Giants fan, because I didn't realize I was playing, but years ago, the Giants would play in New Haven at Yale Bowl. Mm-hmm. And my friends and I, we were just out riding our bikes one day. We rode past Yale Bowl, heard a bunch of noise. So we rode up to the gate, and the Giants were so bad after the first quarter, people would come out and they would give me your ticket stubs. So we just left our bikes there and started going inside the game, watching the games. Back then they had Ron Johns, he was getting murdered. And we just started staying inside watching from week after week when they had home games. We started watching. From that point on, what team I was going to root for but the Giants. So that's it. I became a New York Giants fan.
Yeah, because I followed the Giants and the Steelers, and because the Steelers, I was an anti-Dallas Cowboy.
Same here.
It was the Pittsburgh Steelers against Dallas. My dad's a big Cowboy fan, so that was like a fight in the house. But I can remember watching the Giants every week. Matter of fact, at Black's house every week in his bedroom, and the Giants were hanging there in the first quarter, but the Dallas Cowboys just wear them out for the rest of the night. And it hurt your soul. I mean, you knew you were a fan because it hurt your soul. Yeah. The Giants are getting with Carson and Van Pelt and Joe Pisarcek losing that game against Philly. I mean, it just hurt your soul. So I knew I had to be a fan because it hurt so bad. Watching the Giants get whooped every Sunday. But what was your team?
Yeah, well, I remember we took a trip to Cleveland one time, and whoever we were visiting, they lived right around the corner from Old Municipal Stadium. And the gentleman they knew over there, I think he was like, he opened the door, the gates and stuff like that. Plus he did janitorial. And he said, you want to go over there? So my dad took me over there, and we went over there and looked on the field, and it was so dark. It was so gray. It was so just dark. And I was like, and the man asked me, do you want to run on the field? And I said, no, I'm good. In the NFL stadium. I'm not like I was like, no, I'm good. But the reason why for the Cowboys is years ago when I started watching football, I would look at all the helmets and stuff like that too. And then I saw that star. And there was something about that star. I was like, and I saw the colors and everything. And then I saw the uniform. I was like, man, that's pretty cool. And then the other thing that really topped it off, I ain't gonna lie, is what it is though. That same year I started watching football a little bit. They won the Super Bowl. I was like, oh, we good. This is my squad. They win every year, don't they? And that's what as a kid, you don't know any better. But that was my first experience. And then it went on and on. And then two, the fact that when they defeated Miami, they beat Miami in the Super Bowl 24-3. And Miami that next season went undefeated. And then I always thought about that. I even had a conversation with Paul Warfield, the great all-pro. He was trying to show off one time, talking to somebody like, you see my ring, my Super Bowl ring? And I was at this function. He putting it all in my face and just talking in front of these women. And I said, yeah, man, that's messed up. I mean, you a pro. Why you got to be doing all that, right? And he said, hey, you like my ring, son? I said, yes, sir, I do. I said, you're amazing. I appreciate you. And I also said, where's that one from the Dallas Cowboys with the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl? He got quiet. I was like, all pro, baby. Hall of Famer. No matter.
Raining on the man's parade. All right, let's do our last second shots, our parting shots. Black, what's your last second shot?
Woo! Enjoy some games that ever happen. Other than NFL, I don't think we have much to watch, bro. It's just what it is, man. I don't have much to watch. Oh, yeah, hockey's coming back. I forgot about that.
Look, I'm a Flyers fan too now.
There you go.
Peacho, what's your last second shot?
I just hope everybody be safe with all these, all the stuff going on and all the riots. And I just hope our athletes, because they do get paid a lot of money. I just hope none of them catch COVID-19 and nobody pass from this if they're going to play. I just hope they be safe. That's my last shot.
Okay. Ice, you got it. Last shot?
Yeah, it's more or less like you talk about all these athletes and people are concerned about whether or not they're going to get COVID and whether or not they're going to play. Leagues have not made up their mind. Again, to the players, if you don't want to play, don't play. Don't play. Seriously, if it's really about your family or you say it's about Black Lives Matter and you have a reason why you don't want to play, stand up, be a man, don't play. That's how I feel about it. Don't have the fans. See, that's the other thing real quick. They're trying to flip this on the fans like, the fans should do this, fans should boycott, fans should do this. It's not on the fans, man. I'm so tired of that nonsense. This is about the damn players. Y'all don't want to get the check. If this is going to be about the fans, y'all need to start dishing out some of that cash. Real talk.
And my last second shot is for Kevin Waters, the former coach of the Wilberforce Bulldogs basketball coach. He was supposed to be on the show, and he found out a day before we were trying to get him on the show that his contract was not going to be extended. And he was recruiting some big-time talent from, some schools that were transferring to Wilberforce. So too bad he didn't get a chance to kind of turn that program around because the way he kind of said, what happened, and he said, hey, I'm going to keep in contact with you. He's a class act. He said, hey, it was an honor to work for your school and coach for your school. And I think that's a class act. Hopefully he can get a job soon, and we'll have him on the show to talk some basketball. Okay. That's going to be our show. Peacho, thanks for hanging out.
Come back, Peacho. Come back.
I love y'all.
Come back, Peacho.
Right. We will catch you next time.
And y'all be safe, okay?
Take it easy.
Wear your mask.